Hello everyone, welcome to this stream. Lukul is here as last week. Actually, not exactly as last week. Uh, Today we have a different day, which is not a big issue. It happened before. But we also have a different time. In my country, during the weekend, we had the change for daylight saving time. Therefore, I need to understand if I will change my streaming time to adjust for that or go for it with daylight saving times. So at the same time in my country, but in a different time, some other places. I will figure it out. Today, definitely it was aligned with the daylight saving times. And on top of that, I figured out a couple of details. So during the last stream, most things were alright, apart a little bit of flickering, I noticed. And that flickering was related somehow, and I'm not certain why I didn't look into it yet. It was related to the configuration, not a configuration. It was related to the full screen. If I put any window in full screen when I screen share, it flickers. If I don't, it doesn't. Go figure. And that is why this is not full screen, it's just big. Another thing I noticed, and this is a change that may be related to some upgrade, I guess, of Joplin, but I will need to look into it because I didn't have time to look into it. If you see in here, the mermaid graphs are, for some reason, on one line only, and I checked in other pages and that is like this everywhere, so I will need to figure it out, I guess. That's it, mainly. Apart from that, we are working in the correct direction. Today we should finish the configuration of Fedora CoreOS on OpenTofu side, which requires actually some work on the Fedora CoreOS side, as I need. So if you see the title, I want to have 5 virtual machines for with Fedora CoreOS, created through OpenTofu, obviously. That requires 5 snippets, and those 5 snippets need to be retrieved somewhere, or better, I need to create them. So I will need to work a little bit on butane and ignition and some TOML as well, if I recall correctly. Anyways, let's get into it. Now I can do this, and I can do a new note, and I think maybe, let's see. Yes, I already had it. I guess the stream is having a title that is... I will change it in another moment, because I don't really know what happens if I change it while I stream. I've never done it. Actually, a good idea, a good reason to actually do it. Yeah. Nothing seems to be happening, so all is good. So let's get into it. That means let's go in here, and this was the resource, and this was the resource, and this was the module. So I will, no, this is for the templates, nothing else to do in here, if I recall correctly. The Fedora CoreOS one I care about. There it is. Okay. So this is a relative path and needs to be a relative path. And it will change, of course, because it will not be a router.ign anymore. But apart from that, we will see how to create the, I guess I will use the for each snippet, basically go for the module, something like that. I need to figure it out. In the meantime, let's actually go into Fedora CoreOS and let's fix that router.bu that creates the router.ign, which means Zincati. So Tom probably won't be anything I need to do. Systemd, whatever. Where is the path? It is seriously, there it is. This needs to be changed, and we will change it to master 1, I guess. What do I call it? So previously in some stream I mentioned the idea of having fun names for VMs, but at the same time, as much as it is fun, it can also be a bother. I very much like to have an host name that is a Tolkien host name, so an host name that at least in part it will describe what's in it. So given that I plan to create a Kubernetes cluster inside these VMs, I will have most likely 3 workers and 2 control planes. I will need to look it up as well. Let's do a quick search. Kubernetes. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's okay. Learn Kubernetes basics. And deploy an app. Create a Kubernetes cluster before you begin. Yeah, control plane. And then the various node processes. The control plane. So I would need at least 2 control planes. Nodes that are workers that run the applications. So I don't care about Minikube. Deploy an app. Concepts, maybe. How many control planes? Yeah, 3 control planes is the industry standard. Yeah, for the quorum, I guess. So we need 3 control planes and 3 other workers, maybe? Maybe. So this name will be control plane 1. Control plane 1. So yes, network manager. Instead of 100, let me put it on. Let me think. Oh. Maybe I will need to change that in the future, so let's leave it 100 for now. And Zincati strategy for the time being, it will be like that. Netbeard configuration is totally okay. So I'm actually done, it seems. Apart that I need to change the name. So instead of this, it will be this. And then can I duplicate it? Duplicate. Control plane 2. That will be indeed control plane 2. And control plane 3. Control plane 3. And you wait. The IP address will change. So maybe instead of 100, let's go 101. 102. Maybe without that. And 103. Done that. I will also need, let's start with 2 workers for the time being, and then we will see. So duplicate, and this will be worker 1. So worker 1. And we jump to 111, I guess. I want to leave some IPs, some IP addresses how to say, free, in case I will add some other control planes in the future. I don't think I will, but that's the idea, that's the plan, at least. SSH and time zone won't change. Duplicate, worker 2 for the time being, 5 VMs as I mentioned. This will be 112 and worker 2. Okay, so I have all the butane files. Now I need... oh, I don't remember the butane. I don't remember the butane. The butane syntax that I used before, that was already ready, so I can maybe retrieve it. Zincati, whatever. And there it is. Output split. Okay, so let's go in a correct folder. Fedora CoreOS. Yeah, git stuff that needs to be implemented. One file that was removed, some files were added, something was changed, I guess. It's okay. I can delete router.ign. But that's the only one that I will delete. Now I can try. I can try this. So we go control plane 1.bu with the output, obviously. Oh wait, if I name them like this, I can't really go for each. If I name them like this, unless I guess the IGN file that I create is like ignition 1, ignition 2, ignition 3, ignition 4 and such. This can be a little bit annoying, but let me think. Maybe I can just okay, so let's go for it with the correct naming scheme. Let's use the naming scheme I came up with for the butane files, also for the ignition files. Then I will figure it out. For the thingamajig, for the OpenTofu module. So control plane 1.ign. Let's see what happens. Okay. Did it do it already? So quick? Yes, it did. I expected it to be slower for some reason, but it has been a while since I have done that. Okay, and then instead of control plane, it will be worker 1. Worker, yeah, 1. And worker 2. Worker 2. And we can see that we have all the IGN files that we needed. So far so good. Okay, the next step will be deleting the Fedora CoreOS VM that I already have, maybe? Yep. OpenTofu, Fedora CoreOS definitions. We have this. I still think I need to... I should have done so previously, I think. Yeah, most likely. Yeah, it's okay. I will delete it manually, I guess. Another thing I want to look into, but not right away, first I want to have this done and the other steps I talked about. There is a friend of mine that mentioned to me MGMT, that is something used to orchestrate virtual machines instead of orchestrating services and pods and such, like Kubernetes does. So in a way it could be named how to say, like a Kubernetes for VMs. But I was told about it, I didn't look into it, so I don't know exactly how it works or what it does. It's a fun idea, so I will look into it. In here I seem to have seen some kind of issue. FCOS basic is not the name I want for the FCOS template. FCOS name. Okay, name needs to be turned into a variable, it seems to me. Otherwise, how the hell will I change it based on what is inside the VM itself? So it will be control plane 1, control plane 2, control plane 3, and such. I don't... Oh, yeah, that way... Oh, yes. This is not needed today. At least not for now. Okay. FCOS template, not needed. FCOS and FCOS module. I give it just a snippet. I need the variables. So I need to add a variable which will be named FCOS name with type equal string. Now we go into FCOS, and in here we go with FCOS name. And that should be it. Module goes to take this. Yeah, the snippet is var.fcos name. Yep. Perfect. In theory. The snippet will not change at all, so it's okay. I will need to change this instead, because first of all I need to add FCOS name equal whatever, and I need to change this. Now, how do I use the for each no, this providers module for not here. Not here. For each count and depends on. Yeah, I would like to use those. Okay, OpenTofu. Yeah, okay, but okay, count for each providers. Oh, Jesus. Life cycle allows life cycle administration for modules as described in module life cycle. Okay, if I look at this, for each seems to be the closest one. Count makes me think of a change just in the name. In the name, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Instead, for each seems to allow for something a little bit more complex that may fit my needs more directly. Okay, by default, a resource block configures one real infrastructure object and similarly a module block includes a child module's contents into the configuration one time. However, sometimes you want to manage several similar objects like a fixed pool of compute instances that I am writing without writing a separate block for each one. OpenTofu has two ways to do this: count and for each. If a resource or module block includes a for each argument whose value is a map or a set of strings, interesting, OpenTofu creates one instance for each member of that map or set. A given resource or module block cannot use for each together with count or enabled. Okay. Oh, perfect. I can do what I want as I thought so. H.key. Okay, so for each is a meta argument defined by the OpenTofu language. It can be used with modules and with every resource type. Perfect. The for each meta argument accepts a map or a set of strings and creates an instance for each item in that map or set. Each instance has a distinct infrastructure object associated with it, and each is separately created, updated, or destroyed when the configuration is applied. We have map that is not fitting with my needs. We have set of strings that is exactly fitting with what I want, but in a module. And I need the each object. In blocks where for each is set, an additional each object is available in expressions, so you can modify the configuration of each instance. This object has two attributes, each.key the map key or set member corresponding to this instance, and each dot value, the map value corresponding to this instance if a set was provided. This is the same as each dot key. The keys of the map, or all the values in the case of a set of strings, must be known values, or you will get an error message that for each has dependencies that cannot be determined before apply, and a minus target minus exclude may be needed. Each dot key. Not dot value. That's odd. For each keys cannot be the result or rely on the result of impure functions, including UID, bcrypt, or timestamp, as their evaluation is deferred during the main evaluation step. Sensitive values such as sensitive input variables, blah, yada yada, cannot be used as argument for each. The value used in for each is used to identify the resource instance and will always be disclosed in UI output, which is why sensitive values are not allowed. Attempts to use sensitive values as for each arguments will result in an error. I mean, I get it, it's not my case. If you transform a value containing sensitive data into an argument to be used, be aware the most function will return sensitive results. Okay, in many cases you can achieve similar results to a function used for this purpose by using a for expression. For example, you would like to call keys of local map, where local map is an object with sensitive values but not sensitive keys. You can create a value to pass to for each with, oh wow, using expressions in for each. I'm looking at the example, so maybe I get the idea before reading. So the thing is that it almost seems like I need to use 2 for each, unless I accept that the VMs are named with .ign, which is not really something I want. For each meta arguments, accept map or set expressions. However, unlike most arguments, the for each value must be known before OpenTofu performs any remote resource action. Okay. The for each value must be a map or a set with one element per desired resource instance. To use a sequence as the for each value, you must use an expression that explicitly returns a set value, like the toSet function. To prevent unwanted surprises during conversion, the for each argument does not implicitly convert lists or tuples to sets. If you need to recreate resource instances based on a nested data structure or combinations of elements from multiple data structures, you can use OpenTofu expressions and functions to derive a suitable value. Yeah. It seems that not only I use a for each, I also use a freaking what is it? Set product maybe, or flatten. Let me think. Jesus. Okay. Hmm. So we were saying, let's see an example of this. Jesus. Yeah, anyways, and here there will be a for each, if I understood correctly. Yeah, module for each to set. No, to set. Let me see. Value. Where is it for each? Type. There is no to set anymore. For each is this, and for each is this. Okay. For each var.networks. Yeah, I don't really get it. How do I give it the string I want? Flatten takes a list and replaces any element that are lists with the flattened sequence of the list contents. Example, flatten A, B, nothing, C is ABC. Flatten A, B, nothing, C. If any of the nested lists also contain directly nested lists, these two are flattened. Not what I need. Probably set product is what I need. Set product, staging, production. The set product function finds all of the possible combination of elements from all of the given sets by computing the Cartesian product. Okay, so yeah, there it is. I will have the name, I will have something. Okay. Yeah, but then how do I use it in ooh. How do I use it in for each? Pair 0 dot key. So local dot first of all, it seems I need the locals. And I will put it in here. So locals. And in here, I need to create a set product. Local networks dot local subnets. This is more complex than what I need to do. But I do have to better understand combination. The resource for each and dynamic block language features both requires a collection value that has one element for each repetition. Sometimes your input data comes in separate values that cannot be directly used in for each arguments, and set product can be useful helper. Indeed, it can, for the situation where you want to find all unique combination of elements in a number of different collections. For example, consider a module that declares variables like the following. If the goal is to create each of the defined subnets per each of the defined networks, creating the top level networks can directly use var.networks because it is already in a form where the resulting instances match one-to-one with map elements. So for each var.networks, each.value.base seeder block. However, to declare all of the subnets with a single resource block, you must first produce a collection whose elements represent all of the combination of networks and subnets. So each element itself represents a subnet. Sets and lists, but the variables are both maps, so offer them first. Okay, I don't have map. I have the freaking thing. So this is not something. For pair in set product, network pair 0.key network seeder block equals seeder subnet pair 0 seeder block for pair 1 dot number for each for subnet in local.network subnets. Okay, I'm starting to understand something. Subnet.network key and subnet key, and these are these two. So in here, in theory, I need to create something not getting it. Okay, maybe set product or something like this. So instead of variables, I will put directly the things. Let me see. And So maybe have a single one. It is both for names. Network key A, subnet key A, network ID, Cedar block. An easier example would have been helpful, honestly. I have something like this. So let's try to start with that first of all. Set product and we go with control plane 1. Control plane 2, control plane 3, yeah, okay. Worker 1, worker 2, perfect. And then we have .ign and nothing. This will give me on one side control plane 1.ign, on the other side control plane 1. So I have both the how to say, both the name of the snippet and the name of the VM. So far so good. But locals, if you can see, is not purple anymore because this is not a good kind of how to say, oh Jesus, my brain, not a good, not the correct way to use this thing. By the way, set product is used in here. Okay, so I need most likely to do something like let's put names for the time being equal this. Okay, but in here it tells me that I get a network key is pair 0.key, so it's not going directly with for each with a 4 in it. Can't I have a for each with 1 and 2 variables inside, basically, and that's it, and those 2 variables are getting what I need. So local.network subnets is a list, so project it into a map where each key is unique. Combine the network and subnet keys to produce a single unique key per instance. Yes. So. Network subnets are first and first, second. This is so annoying. First and first. First, no, not first and second, because cedar block is different. Freaking. So. Cedar 1, Cedar 2, Cedar 3, Cedar 1, Cedar 2, Cedar 3. No, different cedars. All different cedars. What the hell is going on? AA, AB, AC. BA, BB, BC. AA, AB, AC. Yeah, but the cedar blocks are changing. Similar to the following. Yeah, thank you. So it is first A and all of it. So for me it would be A and A, B. Then B, A, B, B. C, A, C, B. A, B. So control plane.ign and then control plane. It seems to be. The issue is this part that for pair inside product, pair 0 dot key, network key is a network 0, so pair 0 dot key is network key A. Network key D, cedar block. Base cedar block. Oh yeah, base cedar block. Who cares about that? It's not about the cedar block. I keep hitting the microphone, sorry. Let me think if I'm getting it. So in set product of, so I don't have this. Maybe I need a 4 as well, because I have names that are the pairs currently. In pair, element 0 is a network and element 1 is a subnet. In all unique combinations, element 0 is a network, element 1 is a subnet. So in my case, element 0 would be the snippet. Okay, let's put res. No. Things Objects, objects, objects. Okay. So I need to do as I was saying, that is for pair in set product, at the end we go colon let's open this. Yeah, it seems that I need to go like this as well. Yes. And we go snippet equal snippet key equal pair 0 dot key. Oh. Whereas name key equal pair, not that, pair 1 dot key. The seeder block is derived from the corresponding network. Yeah, that's why I wasn't understanding what the hell was going on before. Okay, so I have these. Now, in the for each, and locus may be in the wrong place, maybe, I don't know. I guess that makes sense. In here I will have a for each inside the module, which is something that is module for each, yeah, for each name, yeah, each bucket. Oh, maybe I didn't need it. I just could have used this with just a list of things. Asset media, assets bucket, media bucket. It seems so. Okay, I will make it much simpler, I think. That is for each equal to set like this. The source is always the same, so I don't think it's needed. And in here we go dollar each dot key, and instead in here we go dollar each dot key. Wait a minute, I forgot something. Yeah. Wait, in theory I can do this. Each dot key dot ign. In theory that is like this, my buckets dot tf. In theory. So locals is something that I don't need in theory. So I would say this, and then let's do this, so I can delete it in case. Delete it, retrieve it, in theory, yeah. I modified the module, so I need a tofu init, OpenTofu definitions, Fedora CoreOS OpenTofu, yeah, tofu init. Nothing is an issue. Oh wait, version 100. Okay, let's fix that. Let's fix that, which means all the provider files needs to be updated. 0.100. Then we have this provider that is 0.100. Then we have this provider that is 0.100. And we have this provider that is 0.100. And in theory, that's it. So if I go once again, tofu init, yeah, there it is. Something wasn't changed. Yeah, it could have been nice to say which one. Oh, no, it seems that I just forgot the upgrade. Let's see. Yes, I forgot the upgrade. Totally great. Now we go and yes. And we remove this. Purge, destroy, remove. The router stays there currently. And now we will try to see if the for each is actually working. Tough. It would seem so. I didn't get any error. Apply. Error. Then. What? Oh, yeah. No worries. I'm silly. I'm silly. And here I need to add some other stuff. At the start. Ooh. So like this, and Fedora CoreOS definitions slash, maybe, because we are here, like that. The CoreOS definitions, the files. It seems correct. Let's go back and do this. No error there. Let's apply. And why FCOS basic? Okay. Control plane 3. Somehow there is a worker 1, worker 2, and a control plane 1. And they all seem to be working correctly. maybe. We will see. It's still working on it. It is still working on it. The order is not too important. But I am liking this a lot. It will take some time. Maybe I drink some water because I think that I have yet to drink anything. Okay, completed. The VMs are all running. Let's see. 1 or 2. I don't know if they restarted already twice or just once. SH. Yes. Core 102. I mean it. Netbird didn't trigger somehow. Now it did, probably. Seems so. 3.1. Let's try with this. Netbird. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So that means I have all the VMs I need for my Kubernetes cluster ready to be used to create the Kubernetes cluster itself. The thing is, how much of an automation do I want to create? Because the thing is that as I have done previously, I created a systemd unit that allows the creation, not the creation, the installation of Netbird. To be able to run a Kubernetes cluster, I need to install other stuff. What do? Do I implement a different systemd unit that will create, install all the things needed for the Kubernetes cluster, start to create the Kubernetes cluster? How deep do I go into the automation of the creation of my own cluster? I think for the time being, sorry, I will not go more in depth than I've done so far, because I'm not that skilled with Kubernetes. I need to learn it, and that's why I'm doing this stuff. That means that soon I will be able to do things on Kubernetes. So I was correct in saying that I didn't need to do the set product thing, and this is clean. I like this a lot. Now, what I can do instead is check out another thing I said that maybe wasn't correct. and I want to check it out because it would be nice. And that is the requirements for Ansible. Ansible requirements for a managed node, I think it's named. Requires Python to run Ansible generated Python code. Ha! That's a good thing, but at the same time, that means that I cannot do what I wanted. Maybe I can create a bash script or shell script even for OpenWRT, but I don't think OpenWRT runs any Python in it. Oh, template, no. Router, yes. And and 10. Okay. Let's SSH into that. Okay. So this can be done. SSH, yeah. And it is root at 192.168.110. And in here I don't think I will find Python. And if I go like this, indeed, Python minus version. And if I go echo, what is it? $shell ash. So it's not even bash. Ash shell, I don't know it. Ash shell. Ash shell. And this is OpenWRT. Right, shell scripts in OpenWRT is Ash. Olmquist shell. Nice. So I need to use the Olmquist shell to create a script that will do everything I've done manually previously. Wow, nice. Okay. So this means that the long-term plans will change. Okay, so first of all, let's go into this. I need to write some notes about today, actually. For each it allows the usage of a list of strings in the app as values that are then assigned to the variables. Name of the VM. Ooh. Butane files. Given my previous misunderstanding, I still had a single butane and ignition file named router.build and router.egn. Technically speaking, this is not true, but the other files, the other butane and ignition files are just modules for the construction of the files that need to be used. I modified the and created other butane and ignition files for the creation of the 5 VMs I plan to use. Okay. For each. After handling the Fedora CoreOS side, back into OpenTofu. There were 2 possible meta arguments to be used: count and for each. Let's see if this works. Yes, nice. I chose the latter as it allows the usage of a list of strings as values that are then assigned to the variables. Set product. After a quick read of the documentation of for each, I thought I needed to use set product, this set, oh Jesus, thank you, this set product function, function, thank you. Thank you again. I thought I needed to use the setProduct function to create at the same time both the VM names and the snippet locations. It turns out I didn't need it. Okay. The value taken from the for, oh come on, for each meta argument is can be just part of the value given to a variable. Name of the VM, I changed the resource to have different names for each. Some mosquito flying. Soon I will have much more. So different names for each VM based on the content, based on the destination it will have connected to the snippet. Possible improvement, future improvement, possible future improvement, add another variable dedicated to the tag given to the VM, so that I can give a control plane and worker tags based on the destination of the VM. OpenWrt. And Ansible. Ansible cannot be used with OpenWRT easily as it requires Python to be in the managed nodes. I don't plan on installing Python on OpenWRT. I will create some basic script. OpenWRT shell. OpenWRT uses a hash as the default shell. I'm getting too much light hash. Olmquist shell as the default shell. Any script created should be shell scripts. Shebang is like this, if I recall correctly. Bin sh, right? Shebang. Yep. Okay, given that I managed to do a lot of things and maybe in very little time, because I've been online a little bit less than 1 hour and 30 minutes, I think I will end the stream here, because honestly I'm tired. I've had a long week, longer than usual, and I want to relax a bit. I completed some major steps forward today, and for that reason I think I will stop right now and come back next week with some new energy. Maybe I will create that script for OpenWRT next week. Hopefully it will be just next week, and then it means that let me see. So this will be done basically. This cannot be done, and it will be a simple shell script, and I need to configure OpenWRT and start using it as the router for my house, which requires still some more testing actually, because I need to figure out the Wi-Fi through OpenWRT. And I still need to figure out, but I think I may have already figured out. I still need to test it, but the DHCP issue that changes the IP address every single time I restart the computer, the VM, with OpenWRT. So a couple of streams on OpenWRT, I guess, and then we are done. No, maybe just one stream. The other thing, I can do it offline, and it will be done behind the scene. Eventually, I will change everything to point to OpenWRT, maybe soon, but it will take some time because OpenWRT is completely new for me, and like OpenTofu, Terraform, and Fedora CoreOS, you have seen, it took a little bit of time to get here. Just 23 streams. A little bit over, no, a little bit under half a year. So not that much, but I don't plan on streaming for another half a year before I start working on Kubernetes. That was the original plan. In the meantime, I started doing some research for the first video I plan to work on, the first video that I will produce offline and upload on my channel. It will be related to the topics I've touched on in a few streams, maybe many streams I've done up until now, but yeah. Thank you for watching and see you next week. Luckily out. Bye.